Welcome back. I'm Brad Edwards. We sure do appreciate you joining us this morning. He has been a fixture in film and television for nearly 4 decades, but now he's taking over streaming, mainly by talking to us. Dermot Mulroney, Northwestern grad and new friend of the stream, is joining us to talk his new series, Ghosts of Beirut, available on Showtime. Mr. Mulroney, thanks for zooming in with us today. Biggest star we have ever had. I requested noisemakers to celebrate, but apparently the budget no longer allows such things. But we're just going to say hello.
There's so many things that the budget doesn't allow anymore.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Isn't
if
that
you were
true?
here,
sorry we didn't get all the bells and the whistles and the confetti and stuff, but I can't tell you how happy I am to be here.
Oh, that's
Brad,
certainly not true. But maybe if we got you in the studio, we could at least get a sushi boat or something. But yeah, we are pumped to have you. And it's actually really cool. Love this. Real-life thriller. Showtime's Ghosts of Beirut explores really the significant but often overlooked cat-and-mouse game between the CIA and a real original in the world of terror. You play CIA officer Robert Ames. He's a historic figure in the context of the CIA, but folks outside the world of espionage may not be aware of him. What should they know?
Well, they should know that I had the privilege of playing an American hero that didn't make it to the end of his game. So there was he and his generation of the CIA were lost in the tragic bombing. I'm right, it's in 1982 in Beirut. So kind of gives away my storyline, but I'm such a one of so many parts in this storyline that the story continues into intrigue that you can't believe is true, some of it. But it's meticulously researched by Greg Barker, the writer, director, historian, documentarian who made this into the piece that it is. I'm so proud to be in this.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating work in that the Ghosts
of Beirut. Well, you set it up really beautifully, Brad. You described it well. It's not that easy to describe. That's why it takes 4 parts to tell this intricate story. But that's it exactly. And what you see too is sort of the dawn of the mentality, the global terrorism mentality. So it's a tough story to tell. And sometimes, yeah, my role in it is really tough. Garrett Dillahunt plays an amazingly effective role. And we came out to do these parts because they're meaningful. Really proud to be involved.
Ghosts of Beirut intertwines fictional storytelling with real-life interviews, which is really a neat play on things. And, you know, as a thespian of your stature, is it harder to play a real person, a known entity, versus, let's say, someone trying to marry Julia Roberts in a fictional rom-com a la My Best Friend's Wedding?
Set in Chicago on a boat on the river,
exactly.
and Steps and everywhere else, and the Biddy Mulligans and everything. Oh, you mean that movie? No, this one, incredibly, there's an entire book devoted to Robert Ames because he really was meant to solve our problems in the Middle East, prevent some of the things that ended up happening, but he was sadly eliminated out of the equation way too early. But so I began to know about him, and honestly, Brad, I grew up in Alexandria, Virginia, so you know, my father was the same age as, so I'm the same age as his kids, and I felt a really strong bond to that region that we shared, that I shared with that character, and then with the family side of the story. So like me, I'd get on a plane, I'd go and I'd do business, I'd come back to my family. So a lot of similarities in this one. So to answer your question, it made it easier because there's source material, but in some ways too, it makes it harder because it's a little deeper.
All right, we got 30 seconds with you before we let you go. You're Northwestern grad. You started My Best Friend's Wedding. You did just stint on Shameless. What keeps bringing you back to hang with us small-town local yokels in Chicago? You got a favorite spot? You got a shout-out you want to give?
What are you talking about? It's the crossroads of the world. It's the city of big shoulders. You guys, we wouldn't be us, America, without Chicago. I don't want you to forget that short-lived series Crisis. I went in there in that coldest Chicago winter anyone can remember, to work on that, too. So my dad was born in Chicago. My family's there. I'm so happy to have Chicago as part of my identity. So here's to you guys. Stay safe out there, and thanks for having me on, Brad.
Yeah, Ghosts of Beirut. If you haven't seen it, catch it. It's so brilliant because it's a foundation I didn't know about, but it really is a precursor to 9/11, ISIS, everything we know of today. It's like a foundation laid decades ago, and by these unknown heroes. So
right. Thank you for helping us share it. It's a really important story. Thanks again.
Absolutely, and we look forward to maybe having you again. Who knows? Now that you're a
I'll see you
BFF
soon.
of the stream. Dermot Mulroney, new friend of the stream. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you,
Keep
man.
up the great work.
Thank you.